You're not thinking of profits now, but you're thinking of how to open up where you do at input. In your center, you keep looking. So you can maybe there, or you need place to invest that. If this one place can invest in it. And you might not need to just put up and then what on $100,000, $200,000. Look at the economy of Central Region and develop your business fit into the economy of Central Region. That's one arm. Then another side is there can you have as town council pull our resources together. And I mean, I'm kind of over there and how you share that young men together on the sun. By doing how we put yourself together, develop to use our resources to develop ourselves in our economy. And that's what is lacking in the part of Africa. Here, part of Ghana. So setting up something like the BP Investment Club is the first step of trying to be proactive and practical solving problems that are related to our area. So making okay, so it took me here, people are well like-minded, managing Janssen, how I go. Then you can start joy sharing ideas. A lot of people activate them and become activate them and get a plan in how I in the meeting. A meeting for you to listen to one person there. I didn't want to, but for us to share ideas there and they play. This is how we start. So you form investment club. Then you find a way you put your resources together. If you did 5 years, you can raise 5 million. That's a huge economic financial model for the organization. Everybody is everybody will get nice news per usual. Apart from my app, the work on what starts. They are the meeting for the what starts more for the community. So people about the first about shape. Then of the baby will tell you what's now for 2 days. So that's something you have to explore economic potential. So I need so we say it's a space that has economic potential we can tap into. Secondary schools, they do have new booster facilities, action job. Imagine that you had a local economic club like this, or they can access to invest. That would be a way of investing in a profitable venture that will bring profit to the members and also contribute to the infrastructure development of our community. We don't have, as of now, we don't have any useful hospitals. And I'm using useful to qualify it because Ataka and the Crop Hospital is not fitting. It's Asia. So it's a huge problem with development. You have to get intentional, decide that it's real. And part of the way they are also done this that kind of that. If you are not fan, if you have a commercial, buybacks, very good. Most over the years, and I was asking what the generation I going to tell I don't feel so to come back. And this one issue they try to establish the mind of if even you feel with the generation, the coming generation should be able to change their mind. Because I'm not going to your issue. You have to be intentional and confrontational in changing the fate and the position of people when it comes to development. The shame that your church are doing, how are you going to share? In your own flow, you have to put yourself together to develop the financial capacity to
answer I you.
Exactly.
You see, it's getting to our subconscious.
No university make sure article be. Do you think in English or you think in your mother tongue? And I was trying to explain the problem in education system across the end. In the who do I first think of deer or I think of tree? You understand?
Sure.
Yeah. And one professor called me to something say, I'm taking a show name one. A revolutionary article. I never knew there would be part in that mass.
Yeah.
So that's after that, I have to put them back in the space so that my pick up and start. Yeah. So
No, I asked us. What? Yes, I said.
Everything.
I've lost myself.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
It's not on there. Can we see as official?
Yeah. So you use bro as official.
Oh, yeah. Let me catch in there. You know, yeah, no one now platform when you get to the whole been doing to my man. You're back here. Then carefully you're clear when you do. Because I better ever start with small figure and build up than start with large figure. And by the time you realize when everybody's hopes are high and on the B, we will super fight. If you start with 10 and add 15, now you build honor, I better. And after the meeting, we clear, we sanitize the page. Our Ben, we have a list. The people for us are actually easy. If you have my updates, you can get you.
What's up? What are they saying?
In the you can man, I can't Abby.
No, it's okay. It was like a bro. Is there a problem?
Stand with me.
Feel free. Whichever language you want to speak.
I'm probably
Me, I'm a troublemaker. I pull legs.
It's like there's something in there. We had a chat yesterday, you and myself, and exactly what I was proposing is what you are talking about. That is why if you follow my comment on the platform, I always emphasize that okay, let's be, with or without them minded. You understand? I believe in this principle of seed sowing. Nothing begins big; it begins small and grow to become big. I don't believe in numbers. I believe in the committed few. So what he's saying, perfect. Just those who didn't come, we just let them know in a more decent tone that look, this is how we do it, right? And I will, even if you will permit me, but before I go on, I would want to apologize for being late. If you allow me to talk, it means you have to talk in the end. I would go on to suggest that even membership should be strictly by referral. Membership should be strictly by referral. Because you see, people join without knowing exactly, what the whole thing entails, right? But when they realize that no, this is not business as usual, just like all other social media platforms or group, then they are becoming cool. You understand that? Because those of you who are here probably know that this is really business oriented something. That's why you're here. Okay, but if initially it had been by recommendation or something of the sort, that hey, this is what you're doing. If you want to join, I explain everything to you, the commitment and everything, and at the end of the day, you are convinced that you should be part. Then when you finally sign on, you show commitment. But just like I told some people there, right, without explaining things, then somebody just left and we prompted him. It's because we did not explain anything to them. So going forward, if I am join and everything to you, then I make official refer that look, this is my friend, or this is an infinity who want to join. I think that should be the way forward. So for me, that's what I will add. Let's go according to what you are saying. Then let's, adopt that method of references. If that makes sense anyway.
Yeah.
think for now we are trying to put structure to this whole EIC thing, and we need to get interim executives or appointed executives to steer the affairs of EIC going forward. And whilst the structure is well put in place, we will then begin to sell the idea or market EIC. That is because we will have a time frame for interested members that are willing to invest to come on board. That is when I'm sure by then we'll have a brochure or a tied document that explains EIC in brief. So then once you get a copy and you go through it, by the time you offer yourself for membership, you know what it entails. For now on the platform, I think many are not sure the direction or what exactly, even though we've explained ourselves, but it's still that mentality is still there. So once we structure it and people see a clear path, I think so this meeting is important. The essence of it is for physically come together so we can get the interim executive that can start steering stuff. Because we need to do registration of EIC and we need to possibly open a bank account. Then get few patrons that will be behind EIC. Then going forward, we'll advertise for when we should have a period to get membership or the registration. So if we are able to meet our target, then maybe we seal it off. Like, okay, now we have 50 members to start with. So let's roll it and see. Then if anybody wants to join, they have to maybe wait for, say, 6 months or 3 months, whatever, depending on how structure goes. So for now, let's give people benefit of the doubt for now. Let's get the interim executive body, then get the structure going.
You're absolutely right. I thought maybe this is just discussion. I didn't know maybe you're following the agenda, right?
No,
just
we don't have,
the question you asked, that's what. But whichever the case may be, I think the message should still be sent out there as people propose, right?
Yeah.
Because you see, right from day one, send the message, send the signal. That's why I use the word. We have to craft it in a more decent tool. Let us send the message to them. Of course, we're going to go through these stages that you're talking about, but let's send a clear message to them. You understand that? Because obviously, people are just not serious. Yeah. Because my brother
even on a platform, people don't
makes
talk.
things emphatic on the platform. You see seriousness in his tone. You understand that? So nobody on the platform for now can tell me that they are not what EIC about. That is not to say that we should, of course, ignore them. We're not going to ignore them. But just as he has rightly proposed, this group, those meeting today, must constitute the foundation, the seed being sown. Let us get it sent to them that, look, we have now officially formed EIC, and these are the members. These are the members. So whoever wants to be a member, I mean, he will have a way of sending the message. You understand that? That's what you say. But going forward, then of course we will design something, because of course we are not going to do this. When the executives come, they will probably handle some of this, so that we'll go through these processes and start recruiting enthusiastic members. You understand?
To a bit of backlash what you are talking about, I think we can open up a number out there, put a number out there. If you are willing, you can put up you can put a number out there so that individuals who want to join, not through WhatsApp, but they could call the number and inquire. And after we add those people, I think in that mode, I think we see the willingness of the person the more. Because on WhatsApp, what to wanna or join the keke. But so for that, if I can our receiving end, Both may be saying, okay, why do you want to join? What do you know about it? Now we take opportunity now we're educating people. So at the end of the day, so people join us, we join. And regularly, I think it will be demanding. People come by demand, but I think in one way or the other, both may have so messages.
This is a meeting of equals.
But among the equals, they are.
It's a meeting of equals. But Nana knows it. Says yeah. But I'm gonna mention
Meeting of
equals.
I like that. But sorry, before you go on, it's important. The question is not even necessary who chairs or whatever, but if we don't take care, we'll be discussing things importantly. So I was thinking, people, you had come with a very well-defined agenda. You understand? So that we tackle them step by step. Because some of the things we are discussing here, I see like maybe we are having a conversation, right? Because honestly, for instance, what a gentleman was just put, what we are discussing, how the mode of membership will bring. Obviously, a document will be needed. People must sit down, plan. You understand? Plan. Like maybe if it's even on our agenda, then maybe now that is what we are discussing, so that we discuss. See, yes, a lot of course will go into it, but now we don't know whether that is what we're doing or so. But briefly, you can maybe.
Okay,
so that we take them one.
Can I pass a comment before you?
Go, sure.
On the matter that was being discussed about members who were not present. Personally, I believe that after this meeting, those who couldn't turn up or who couldn't give us any tangible reason for not showing up should be taken out. The reason why I'm saying this is,
You mean they should be taken or not?
They should be taken out.
Okay.
And that will bear me out. Even on a complete development that is racing. I think formation of groupings of this sort has become very difficult. Because the moment there's a face-to-face meeting, people start giving reasons. And even if somebody who is committed to a cause, aside not being available, like you will see his contribution to the platform.
Central Paradise.
But if a person is missing on the platform
Central Paradise
and missing at the same time on social platforms to face-to-face.
Best time was Abontin. I am between Abontin. There is some Central Paradise. Rest up.
So if a person is missing in both ways, that means when we start like that, anybody who goes out and wants to come back will make a move. If we make the announcement, colleagues, at the end of today, we had this number of people who have shown commitment to the cause. So these are the people we are going to go with. So if you find yourself, you move on the platform, kindly contact me for further details. If the person is serious, the person will come back. And afterwards, we know that next time when you call for meetings, you come. Because this is business. And if you don't have time, you don't do business. That's what I believe. So that's a little comment I'll pass on that.
Thank you. Okay, so in the meeting, is here because the nation take on the beginning, you have to give an association, young club, a structure. So, are they interim executive or substantive executive, not interim, because you have to hit the ground running, and you don't want to have executives that won't make a interim. You have substantive executives to steer the affairs of the club. And so the young chairman, young secretary, young treasurer, organizer, financial secretary. Now, you also the next phase is the incorporation of the club by the Register General Department. Are there yet to give legal identity to young club? Yes, so basically, that's the main activity of the ANCC. First, are they form executives? You form executives now, then they will steer meeting, they will take charge. You have a short break, and they will have to organize themselves and steer the affairs of it. But for the meantime, before that, I prefer that orientate the rest of members now, one about the direction of the club, the relations between the club and its economic arms. I will put that as we discussed in the last meeting. Yes.
Thank you. In fact, that is exactly what I was going to prompt you on, because if we are going to, respectfully, yes, if we are going to talk about executives or whatever, if Ubuntu is going to be the chairman, what organization is he going to chair? He must have an idea. You understand that? Comprehensive idea about what organization. So I was just trying to put something there that we should, first of all, give a brief background of whatever it is. Two, then probably when we are done with that, we should probably discuss the structure. It is the structure that will lead us to be able to, acquaint ourselves with the right positions or whatever. So once that is done, then this membership, what can all, come. So yes, thank you for that opportunity. I think I would say most of us are already, I will pretend that we all know what EIC is about. This is what I would say prompted there have always been complaints that Ekunfi, we identify ourselves with poverty, which is very unfortunate. People talk about Ekunfi, this and that. Come again? Come on. Something that we don't deserve. Something that we don't deserve. You see, individually, people are doing well. That's quite bad. Anyway. Yeah, so I think this kind of discussion usually happen on the EDA, right? EDA platform. So one time, I think some discussions prompted the need for us to come together, because we all know the power that can be harnessed from people coming together, unity. So I'm not going to go into how it happened, but we realized the need to come together, form a club, and pool resources together, right? And trigger or engender a kind of the economic renaissance that we so much want to see. Kweku will always, and I always refer to that because I love that particular term, intentional, be deliberate, be intentional. So we said that, is it every day that we will sit here, we'll be on this platform complaining about what we don't have, what we want to have and other things? I don't think that we can pray anything into existence. I am sorry. That is the truth. Because God himself did not pray things into. God was intentional about his own creation, right? So everything that we want to do, we have to be intentional. So we thought that let's come together, form this club, pull resources together, and start from there, sow a seed. So yes, at the end of the day, this people on that platform, Kweku, quickly, by the time we realized, he had put something there, some notes, and people started signing on as members. So we all signed on to it. So that moment we had the Ekunfi Investment Club, EIC birthed. EIC was birthed on that fateful day. That is Ekunfi Investment Club. So that's how come we had. Now, what is the core objective of EIC? We all know And just as I have explained, the core objective is to pool resources, accumulate whatever will be contributing monthly. Then we will be able to invest. That's why we say investment club. We'll be able to invest. And who knows, if we get more intentional about what we want to do, we can engender the kind of renaissance we want to see. So that is what basically a Kunfi Investment Club is about. It is business oriented. But let's get this clear. It's a club it's going to be a club just as any other social club is. It's going to be a club with all the general attributes of all other social clubs. The difference, however, is this. This is purely business and investment oriented. Purely business and investment oriented. 2, this club is not in itself going to be a business entity. That is probably what we must understand. It is not a business entity. It is a club. Let's personate it. Just as you are sitting here, you can decide to invest. You can decide to have various business and other things. So we see a Kunfi Investment Club, EIC, as a person, right? As a person who is going to embark on the agenda of establishing businesses. So it is, I would say, it is independent of those businesses. Not independent as in it has nothing to do with it, but it doesn't stand, or it's not going to stand as a business on its own, right? It's going to stand as a social club, but then it's going to own. So a Kunfi Investment Club is going to own various businesses. It's going to undertake various initiatives, business initiatives, investment, initiatives. So, for instance, if maybe, let's say, there is a particular business like, let me say, corn mill. You understand that? You have a corn mill outlet. EIC will establish that, or EIC will be operating that. So EIC will act as maybe a businessman. You understand that? But the EIC in itself will not be a business entity. But the corn mill operations will be the business entity. So all the businesses will be registered separately, but owned and controlled by EIC. I don't know whether that is clear. You understand that? Let's say we have a book publishing shop. You understand that? Printing and publishing, or whatever you call it. EIC will itself not be operating, will not be undertaking the activities, but EIC will have an independent business. It could be EIC Publishing Services. It will be registered independently as a business entity. I hope you understand that. Yes. We can have maybe a financial subsidiary or a financial business. It will be owned by EIC, registered independently. It's not me, it's not you that is going to, run it. EIC own it, but they may have their independent management. I don't know whether that makes sense. Yes. So I want us to understand the difference between EIC and the various business interests that EIC is going to involve itself in. If before we move, if anybody has any question, you can ask so that we get ourselves acquainted comprehensively. Emudaho. Okay. I don't know, Nana, if now that is clear, I don't know whether you are expecting us to attempt to delve a little bit into how we want to. It's important, right? You see, I think it's important anyway. I was thinking that probably when the executives have come, then they will be directing that. But I think we have to get. Oh wow. On my account, Uncle break a crack. Prayer. Oh, you work with the Kofi?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Creative art.
Okay.
Creative art.
No. I think the guy. Yes. I'm happy we have understood the two things. EIC.
Quickly, let me make an announcement.
Do it.
I offered food. I offered small lunch.
Then congratulations, sir. But seriously, did we even, because you asked, did we even introduce ourselves? For me, I know some of you. Yes, you did all those things, right? In fact, you didn't let us handle the thing. Should I be harsh on you? Oh, so you should have asked me to also introduce myself and get to know some of you. I know Ubuntu and I know Eja, but I don't know this man. I suspect you. And I'm trying to, yes. Yeah. You are who? Mamia Mapra. Hey, Pat. Pra. You on the platform? You work with the Kofi Amon. So you came as a. Wow, that's great. That's just by the way. So yes, we are continuing. You see, when we started this, can we continue? When we started this, I saw and felt the enthusiasm of people on the platform. You realize that people were beaming with amazing business ideas, right? But you see, sometimes if you don't take care, your enthusiasm may lead you to fail. You understand? It's just like having. Oh, we are cool with anything. This guy must give us some.
Because I wanted to tell him about it. Run away to the other side.
Are you Father Ebi?
No. You are this now.
You're on the platform, right? Oh. God bless you. It is so clear that now we know what we are up to as a club. It's a social club, of course, just as any other social club, but we are strictly business oriented. If we are business oriented, what it means, I think it's just we now that we know what group we are now in, that is the EIC, and the fact that our core mission is to undertake certain investment and business initiatives. We want to have an idea of how we're going to go about it. So we'll say a kind of strategic pathway, right? We are prompted or forced to deliberate on this or acquaint ourselves with this to avoid the temptation of maybe people having different ideas. So just as I was saying, on that day, you could see how various ideas were pouring in. I know people have very wild ideas, and I wouldn't be surprised that people may be expecting that even when we start making contributions, then we just start investing in this or that. You understand that? We should have a deliberate plan. We should have a deliberate plan so that we don't get stuck at a point. You understand that? Now, let's all have in mind that we are on a mission. That is what I want to emphasize on. We are on a mission, a revolutionary mission. We are on a mission to engender an economic renaissance in the Ekunfi or within the Ekunfi enclave. We are on a mission to create an unprecedented wealth. Let's get that. Don't look at the numbers and be demoralized or be discouraged. I hope that is clear. We shouldn't look at the numbers because, like we said, at least we have about 48 people, then you come here and you have 10 people or 12 people meeting. Certainly, you are tempted to be demoralized. But trust me, whether we are 3, we are 4, we are 5, we are 6, the seed is already sown. We set a foot on the path, and there is no turning back. There is no turning back. We are on a mission to engender economic renaissance, to engender developmental revolution. We are on a mission of wealth creation. We are on a mission to create wealth. And if we are going to create wealth, we cannot pray for the wealth to manifest. We cannot wish for the wealth to become a reality. We cannot hope for the wealth to happen. We have to be very deliberate about that. And that is why we must know how we're going to go about the whole thing. Now, so first and foremost, EIC, we have come together to pool resources. Of course, when we have our executives, they will let us know more. But what you and I know that at least, basically, we're going to pool together resources. When we begin pulling together these resources, how are we going to use the little resources that we may start pulling? How are we going to use that to, engender that kind of wealth or to engender that kind of economic renaissance? That is what we want to talk about. We are not going to put the money into any idea that anybody brings on board. Our executives will superintend over a meeting to give us directions. They will let us know how we're going to operate. But I know that we're definitely going to have a business board. We're definitely going to have a business board. Now, this business board will give us a clear strategic wealth pathway. Yeah, let us put that in our mind. They will give us a clear strategic wealth pathway. Now, because you are saying that we are traveling, we should know the route. That's what I mean by the wealth strategic pathway. So we're going to have that documented so that we can all acquaint ourselves with the path where we are going. Now, first, I'm telling us some of the things that I suspect they may want us to know. We are not going to put our 100 Ghana cedis into, let's say, this industry or that. First and foremost, we have 100 Ghana cedis. How do we multiply? Right now, we will need support from various angles. We will need other people to come on board to invest with us. We will need the kind of things we want to do. We can't do it alone. So we will need people, investors, youth, institutions to come on board. So we should strategically position ourselves to get these people. So what we're going to do is that we're going to build a certain capacity, a leveraging capacity that will help us bring some of these strategic partners on board to use their resources to do what we want to do. And if we're going to build that leveraging capacity, then what are we talking about? So it means that we are not going to just put our money into anything from the beginning. So we must focus on creating a kind of entity that will be dealing with money, raw money. So the first phase of what EIC is going to do, the first phase will be dealing with finances. We are not going to start selling this and that. We are just giving ourselves, an idea. We are proposing that EIC will first, whatever that we're going to have, we are going to, create a kind of tool. So that means that we may go into a kind of fund management sort of, not fund management like it's happening over there, a strategic one. Because by the way, if you're going to manage fund, but we have to strategically have an entity that we can use to, I wouldn't want to, permit me to use the word lure people to come on board. People that are not even part of the group. You understand that? Because once we come to, if I am going to, if I need money, I should have ways of, raising investment or raising capital, whatever. So we must, the first phase, the focus must be on how to rake in more investment, even from people that are not part of us, people that do not belong to this crowd. That is why we may strategically have to form an entity or a company that will deal with money, managing funds. You understand that? So for instance, let's assume we have something, we start with something like maybe a Kunfi Renaissance Fund, or a Kunfi Investments Fund, which is owned by the EIC. Now, the business board, or those that will be responsible, will let us know the strategies we're going to adopt, or the models we're going to build for the Kunfi Renaissance Fund to bring in or to rake in more investments. Or raking in all these investments is geared towards building that leveraging capacity. Because for instance, assuming we have 1,000 Ghana cedis, if you have 500,000 Ghana cedis, you may not necessarily have to use that 500,000 Ghana cedis to do what you want to do. Assuming you want to build the rest, stuff like this, and you may need, let's say, 1 million Ghana cedis, and you have 500 Ghana cedis. That may help you to bring in other, because you already have money. So if I ask Uncle Cole that, look, this is what I want to do, he knows that I'm resourceful already. I have the capacity to pay him or whatever. You understand? So that is why we are saying that will be the first focus, the first phase. We should focus on building that leveraging capacity. So we're going to deal with found stuff, right? I'm not going to go too much into that because, like I said, we have a business board that will come up with comprehensive something. Now, once we have that, and now we can bring in more people to invest with us, then we will go on to the next phase. The next phase will be identifying businesses that will help us build and consolidate our cash flow. You understand that? Of course, there will be income generating ventures. So we'll go into that. Yeah, so before even that, so sorry. No, that's okay. So just as I was saying, the leveraging capacity is the most important thing. Now, so we've been able to established that entity. Now our models and marketing strategies are helping us to rake in more. That young woman in the community who is not part of us is investing in it, because of course they will be made to understand the importance of that particular investment fund that we have established. Of course, they are investing to make returns. You understand that? Now, when they are investing, how do we multiply that money? We are going in phases. How do we multiply that money? So the next phase of the business, let's even forget about the cash flow concept. The next phase of the business is I'm thinking, will be to sell our money. Sell our money. So here I'm talking about businesses like, credit business. You get my point? Yes, because when you go to NDK or any other investment firm, when they mobilize the investment and other things, they give it to people that lend, right? Now that young woman in the community, that fisherman in the community, they all need some kind of soft loans and other things, right? Now, and that is also empowering them economically. That's empowering them. So if we have 500,000 Ghana cedis sitting in our account, I will not advise that we use that 500 Ghana cedis to build something or to invest in farming, to do this or that. Those things will come. We are going phase in phases. We have to secure our money. That 500,000 Ghana cedis, we have to make sure it is secured and it is, multiplying. It is multiplying. We have to have access to it any day, any time. That's why the next phase will be to sell the money, and not just selling for profit, right? We will be making profit, of course, but at the same time, it's another way of empowering the people, because we are in to empower them to create wealth. You see, so at that second phase, which will now be courtesy, a credit firm, giving loans and other things, that will help us consolidate even the leveraging capacity that we're talking about. You see, now we are here. Now we've been able to raise about 1 million Ghana cedis. Then the wild ideas. I believe in certain industries and others, so I may say that why don't we go into mineral water business or something? No, we won't at a certain stage use our cash. We are saying this so that right from day one we know where we are going. We won't use our cash to do that. We won't get, because if we go and use our 1 million Ghana cedis in doing this, we are stuck. Are we going to wait till? Because mind you, if anybody thinks that it's those of us who are members that are going to raise the money, then we have failed before starting. No. We constitute the club. We have become thinkers for the club. It's our responsibility to brainstorm and figure out how we can raise in cash. That's very important. So now our 1 million Ghana, we're not going to use that to invest. I'm saying that so that nobody tomorrow says that we have 1 million. Why don't we use in doing this? No. We need to be very strategic. We shall always get there. Now with that 1 million Ghana cedis, we can convince Abeku to come and establish that factory for us. So this becomes, that is what we are leveraging on. Yes, it's like our guarantor, it's like our security. And that also will force us to be honest with ourselves, to do things, very well. Because at the end of the day, if we fail, they fall on our cash. You understand? So we are going to use what we have to get a lot more. So if we are saying that we're not going to touch our money, it doesn't mean that we're not going to do that thing that you are thinking about. It doesn't mean that we are not going to go into that farming that you are so much passionate about. It doesn't mean that we are not going to go into that mineral water production that you're talking about. No. But what we want to do, our money cannot do it. But our money can get more investors to come on board. Our money can lure in more strategic partners. That is why we are saying that let us do that. Now we are on that phase. We are selling, or we are multiplying our raw money. We are multiplying that. So the next phase will be
into income generating ventures. Income generating ventures, which of course the business board and of course members, because everybody that is in the group is business minded. And I tell you, the average Ghanaian has a business idea, right? So all these ideas will come, and the business board will help us to know which of them might be strategic at the time. So here I'm talking about income generating ventures, which will be our, let's say, cash flow concepts and other things. So here we are now going to things that will help us generate income in addition to what we are getting from the financial concepts. Am I making sense, please? So we are going step by step. So these income generating ventures, for instance, maybe Nana Kwesi probably brings an idea that let's sell pawpaw fruits. He's able to prove to us that for every 100,000 worth of pawpaw which can be sold within 3 months, we're going to make 10,000. If in 3 months we're able to make 10,000 for ourselves, we are consolidating our capacity. You understand? So why don't we go in? But the question is, how do we finance it? We are not going to touch our money still. Now we have already built a solid leveraging capacity. We've built that solid one. So we can now go to call and a big that we know they are investors. We now go to them. That look, this is what we're going to do and that. We submit our proposals to them. Of course, because we're going to do business, we shall use experts. We're never going to make the mistake of despising experts' advice. Where we need experts, we bring in experts. Because this is not about you and I, our business. This is something big. We are not here to think small. We are not here to think small. We are here. My brother made a certain statement and it inspired me. It inspired me. He said, hey, Nana, we can own a kung fu. I think I love it. Whenever I remember it, it challenges me. The dream is to own a kung fu. Not to hijack it, but to own it. You understand that? Yes. We don't have any plan of owning it for manipulation. Owning it to improve upon the livelihoods of the people. We can change things if we get more intentional, we get more deliberate about how we do things. We can change things, just like we are saying. Now maybe you might be surprised that, wow, so we're not going to touch our money, this and that and that. It needs discipline. And that's exactly what if our executives, when they come, if it makes sense to them, that's what we're going to do, right? So nobody comes and says that, hey, no. What they tell, this is the pathway. We are traveling to Kumasi, so you don't tell me if I'm in Accra, you don't tell me to go through Takrady, where I can pass through Sawam and get there. No. So when we have the pathway, that's exactly what we're going to do. We are thinking big. So now the pawpaw that we want to sell, we are still not touching our money. If you think we're going to touch our money, you are disappointed. We're not going to touch it. We are going to go in, bring in investors. We are going to go for loans, though we are giving loans to people, but we will also be going for loans out there. You understand that? Because these business people are using loans, by the way, business people are using loans. So if we have that capacity that we can leverage on, why don't we go out there? I hope you understand that, because this is not, Nana, this is not Boutros, and this is not you, but it is a certain credible organization which also has that financial muscle. You don't tell me I have 500,000 in my account and I need 300,000 from you, and you are saying I cannot pay. This is physical. It's cash. It's there. But we are using it to do something else. They know. We need to be genuine and honest about our dealings with our prospective and potential financial partners or investment partners. We need to be genuine with them. We understand that. So we're not going to use our money. Let us use people's money to make money for ourselves. So once we've been able to build that leveraging capacity, trust me, we can be doing multiples of income generating, or we can go into multiples of income generating, ventures, which will give us multiple streams of income. So assuming within, let's say, 3 years, we have 20 different concepts bringing in income from all these angles. We are multiplying. Now that puts us on the exponential level. We begin to multiply our resources at an exponential rate. You understand that? Now, it gets to a time that we have to commit capital into certain capital-intensive projects, industrialization and other things. Still, we haven't gotten to the stage that we're going to use our money. Let's arm ourselves with that mindset. When we get to that stage, too, we're still going to use people's money. We're going to use our investment partners. We're going to bring on board investment partners. You might know an investor that I don't know. Nana might know certain investors that are ready. They are ready. You understand that? So if somebody is ready to come and do something, make some money for themselves, and I can also make some money for myself without committing a dime into it. At the end of the day, me crew na me pay say developer. Even if I don't make anything out of that, and me crew na developer, mind you, as investment club, we already have our money there. You see, we haven't played with. You understand that? So I'm saying, and I'm trying to reassure everybody here that nobody should think that if we are not going to invest or put our cash, our contributions into those projects, we are still not going to get things done. In fact, that is what is going to get us more things done instead. Does that make sense to you? That is what is going to get us more things done. Because, mind you, maybe 500,000 Ghana cedis, may commit into a certain project. My luck, you understand that? Yes. So next time, another project may die. I mean, until I recoup this one. You see? So why don't I use that as a base to bring in more people? You see, let us use people to do what we want for us. Period. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's use people to do what we want for us. Yes. So we get to that stage. We get to that stage of, engaging in the cash flow, trading, whatever, income generating concept. We get to that. Then we get, of course, the investment. The industrialization will bring us money. Then there is this, of course, that will even be part of also the income generating ventures. It is not only commercial activities like trading and other things. We're going to also have service-oriented industries or service-oriented businesses, which will help us, as it were, generate more income. That is also part of the phase 3, the income generating phase 3. Let's assume maybe we have sewing or fashion design shop or whatever. Let's assume we have maybe a construction firm. You understand that? We don't sell anything there, but these are businesses that can also, if we have a construction firm, this is EIC, and if we have a construction firm within the Kunfi enclave, maybe Abeku is, or Abeku has a brother who is out there, who wants to build some ultra-modern structure, whatever. Being a credible organization that owns the firm, we may be getting, you understand that? So if at the end of the year, we have been able to undertake 2 contracts, and we are making some little from, you understand that we are making money there. We've talked about the industrialization area. Then, obviously, people might be talking about development. We are talking about development, who is going to do that for us? We are not running an NGO where we are going to put up structures that will not be yielding dividends for us. Let's understand that. Maybe that time will come. But in the meantime, no. Wealth creation first, before those kind of things come in. Some might be thinking that, yes. Some might obviously be thinking that, yes, because I saw some comments on the platform when we started. Some comments were jeering towards that we have to be making say a boa man for the kind of one yes, I'm one, and yet we are going to teach the people to fish. So yes, so for instance, there might be some commercial activity that we might go into. And also, but a bit capital intensive, whatever that you might be thinking about. Development oriented. And also, no, near Pessetti, as you say, Yesika. But the young man said, Yesika, the end you see Yesika. We are building more reserves. We must focus on building more reserves. Because the more we. That is the point. Because you see, what I want us to understand is that we can always have access to funds. There is enough. There is enough in the system. There is enough in the system, just that we should find a way of accessing it. And people have money that they don't know where to use it, and they don't know how to use it. They don't know where to send those monies to. They just need credible firms, credible entities, like what we are trying to build. So if we're able to strategically position ourselves, I tell you, you'll be amazed what we're going to do. And indeed, we're going to do that. Because at least the people here, the few I know, I know you are great brains. And you are not people that will ever think that it is not possible. You are all possibility thinkers. You understand that you are all possibility thinkers. So for me, I cannot dream things. I cannot dream something small. That be why should I sit with people like you and we are going to think small? No. If we decide that maybe by 2022, this is how much we want to raise, or in our the fund management kind of thing, if we want to raise $2 million by the end of 2022, $2 million or whatever, we can do it. We can do it because we are not going to pray for it to come. God doesn't work that way. You understand that? We're not going to pray that God give us this or that. We pray for wisdom. We pray for directions. But we need to. You understand? We need to work for it. You understand that? So I think that whatever amount or capital or investment that we want to raise during a particular or within a particular period, we are capable of raising. We are capable of raising. And if we succeed in psyching ourselves, that look here, we are building reserves. And we're not going to touch it now until a certain stage. It is possible. And that will help us because if you have $5 million and you go to Maslow, because some of you here might be politically, you may have parties and other, some of you. I know you do politically. If you don't even do, you know somebody who is seriously connected, or you know somebody who knows somebody, and who knows somebody who is seriously connected. So in fact, we will need money from Maslow. Yes. Thank you. Of course, we are going to. Yes. Maslow. In fact, I'm telling some of you, those of you here who might know people in MPP, we shall need money from Maslow because they don't know how to use their monies. That's the truth. So imagine we have, let's say, even 100,000 Ghana cedis, and you go to Maslow that you need 70,000. We won't come for 100,000. We shall go for 70,000. Are you telling me Maslow will not give to us? Maslow will give. And let me tell you something. We can even initiate this one district, one factory kind of thing. We can initiate and wait. Oh, my brother, Akufo-Addo will run to come and support this. Because let me tell you something. This particular MPP government, they wish they had people who had what it takes to take certain initiatives. If you have that courage, you have that balls to take the initiative, and you go, they'll come on board. Because Nananim said, I'm sorry, we need to be MPP, but Nananim said, and yet easy. Say, I buy no quadaka say, oh yes, that thing, ain't it? Yenam on fire home better. And on fire home better, and that alone is cash. So if I have my 100,000, bring 100,000. If I have my 1 million, bring 1 million. They will bring it. You understand? But if you don't have, and interest can from quite a question, yes, can no, money attracts money. Or that's not true. Money attracts money. But if we make the mistake and consume or waste that money,
Interesting. When you go to court or you go on the credit, they give you every guy around so you get all the free like this. Oh,
it's true. It's so true.
It's like that.
You see.
Maybe a hustler.
So yes, I think, like I said earlier, we shall have our business board come up with, this is just, an idea that we are giving ourselves, that this is how it's going to be. But the business board will sit down and, come up with proper document that we may call it a strategic pathway, or whether it's economic pathway, whatever it is. We will have that, and that is exactly we shall follow. Unless, of course, at this meeting we say that no, let's use our money. We say that no, let's do this or that. But if what we are, giving you a kind of insight into is something that will help, then of course that's what we're going to do. And I am assuring you that is not going to delay. Some may think that it may delay the progress of what. No. It will rather introduce a kind of speed into the whole thing. And if we go by that, we have already succeeded by owning a Kunfi. In fact, that's what the man said. I think you have your strategies of how we're going to own a Kunfi.
All right. That's quite an impressive as today, but the whole fish makes it a lot simpler absorbing it. The next item on our list is to get our executive constitution, executive board constitution, which is very important so that all that shared with us become the guiding principles of their operations. Then they will now focus on how to form the business board for us and run it. Just as you said, we're doing our best to take up the burden of running the economic arms of the club off the members as possible, so that if you're a member of the club, you don't have the burden of thinking so much about what your money, because you have confidence in the people that are running the whole thing for you. And just as Nana was saying, the idea of creating the economic arms, which will be relatively autonomous of the club itself, is for the legalities of dealing with money in our jurisdiction, so that we have a business board that will constitute the distinctive board for the various investments we're going to do, so that they take the shock of the whole thing from us, so that we can do our own other activities on the side, and the businesses will run. So if we have an investment that is into real estate, you know that when we have a winning proposal for real estate development, they are going to drive it, and the money will come to that venture, not to the club. You understand? Yeah. So we have to quickly find a way of getting our executive board in place, and you have to propose people to be on this board, to be able to steer the affairs of the board. What they call the executive. Yes, the executive board, so that they will now take off from there.
Then you should let us know the positions.
Well, we have chairman position, secretary, treasurer, financial secretary, then 2 officers with that portfolio, which it is recommended that they should be women.
Without portfolio.
Yes.
Why?
You are recommending.
Yes.
So explain that. Why? I agree with the women part, but why without portfolio?
Why do you agree with the women part?
So why what?
Why with that portfolio?
And why the women?
But then it was your idea, right? That she get women with that.
No, wait a minute. You have made a statement.
I want to send the hit on you.
A chairman, a secretary,
Treasurer, financial secretary. Yes, and 2 officers that portfolio. I mean, yes, organizer, ad organizer.
2 women to cook for us.
Well, if you bring in the organizer, then the officers of that portfolio will have to go up.
Then 2 women to be at the kitchen.
I think every organization should originally probably I was
As a gender balance.
It's a way of institute trying to plant a check, a control mechanism in the workings of the executive board.
So how many positions so far? 5, 6,
It will be 7.
7.
Yeah.
the chairman must have twice. The organizer includes
No,
or no if it's good.
yes, good.
The organizer includes
7, yeah.
I think I'm all members fine.
So can we start?
Yes. Yes. So.
The chairmanship position.
Mhm.
I will propose that I will nominate Martha for the position of secretary. And I'm not just nominating. But when you nominate somebody, you should convince the people. I think he has what it takes. He has what it takes to really chair a meeting of such importance. He has what it takes. He has the experience, everything, and more important,
He has connections.
the commitment. I've got a connection. I don't want to. But the commitment.
It's important.
The commitment is super. The commitment is super. That
Yeah.
see, for me, commitment is what means everything to me. Yes. So I propose him. I nominate him. He knows it. I'm not.
any seconder. He said,
Oh, I second. I second.
I testify.
No.
I testify.
Are they emotion? Motion. Why I'm a second. Then also second.
I testify.
3 seconds.
Someone should fortify.
So,
Okay, those who
But do I have
so if there's any objection, let's get an objection. Objection from who?
I also have a position on this matter. I think it's well, and I think it's good in terms of what he said. But I also would like to propose a chairman for this endeavor, for EIC.
Democracy, so your point. Let the best man win.
I also propose
This guy.
an applicant, chairman of the.
Oh, that's what I propose. Yeah, I know.
The reason for that is okay, but seriously, one of the reasons for that is that I think he has a good understanding of the overall concept. I mean, I sat here and listened to him, and this is his brainchild, so to speak. I think he has a good understanding of the concept, and I think that from what he's done here today, we should give him that mantle to carry us forward in terms of the vision. Hold on. Secondly, and honestly, I'm actually chairman for a few groups like this, and my biggest fear is that there might be a time where EIC might need me to be there, but because of conflict with other things, I might not be able to show up, and I don't want the group to be staff of that resource if I'm not available. I think he's doing very well. I'm willing to work under him to support him. So I nominate him to be the chairman of the group. Oh, you don't get to go again. You don't get to go again. We have to vote.
So now we have two candidates.
Yes, we don't get to go again.
We shall vote.
We'll vote. Well, if you vote me, you get to vote for.
Vote for.
He didn't make any excuse though. He proposed you. For the petitioner's submission, I think he's making a point there. The petitioners are making a point.
I said, you know much more, but you don't know what it's about.
I second.
Only one vote. So let's put the votes. I mean, open vote.
Let's move to the other positions.
Let's finish
this one first.
So
So for one of us who are
so
for
let's
who are in support of the nomination
then
of
vote different positions.
who are in support of the
Honestly, I don't know, but there seems to be the two of them propose themselves.
yes. So we are voting on them. The two of them will not vote.
That is
Yes.
serious.
It's all about serious. You know,
Co-chairman.
you know what
Chairman.
talking about.
Oh no, sorry.
But at the end, Mr. was giving a reason for that. Banana hasn't.
Yeah,
He
he,
did.
he just
He did.
objecting to.
He just objected to
He
that.
has
but
not
hasn't
made any
really-
reason why he is not comfortable with the previous.
Oh, okay.
He just
So he said that he's occupied.
Exactly.
So why would you also want to reject?
Reject.
That vote?
Oh, I don't want to.
You are failing to
I
reject.
may have more excuses than this, right? But matters of this they don't do it. But I felt this institutional once you're a member, it's already going to settle down. So it's not like maybe that's why I say that this is his commitment. I know. I'm willing.
Based on the defendant.
Personally, I also support his nomination.
I do.
Yes, the nomination of
Let's vote.
Ray.
I do support that.
Exactly.
Then I also support, so you can just.
Oh, what?
So I do.
I
Yes.
nominated.
Okay, so let's
And
Okay,
no,
so-
no, the way I see EIC,
This motion is serious.
the rest of the floor when it comes back.
So we were voting for. I can't wait to buy it.
Oh, is that from
Boss, slow down. Very soon to be a chairman of something else. So I'm just thinking.
the way EIC is structured, I don't think we'll be having like frequent meetings. Most of the meetings can be over the phone and stuff like that. So I think you can manage it.
somebody can be assured.
Let's go.
But the voting, me, I am voting for you.
You've gotten 6 votes.
Really? Out of.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Come on. Said I'm not to that.
So don't know that now.
Oh, but we have to identify the vote.
Officially identify.
Yeah, but
We have to identify the vote.
by
So wait a minute.
We have to identify
Because the person that
Who are you voting
talking
for?
about
So today now, who are you voting for?
you know
Never decision for him. Wonderful.
when you were away here.
Deal. I accept.
Thank you.
Chairman.
And in any case, there's one thing I didn't want to tell you. I think the chairman must know more about it. I don't know.
He's intentional about it. He's intentional about it.
It's okay, but we can't stop him. Yeah, I see. I'm there. It's our maiden meeting, our maiden voyage. But what we seek to achieve, like he says, is boundless. We're using FMP as our test case, but I'm sure that going forward and in the future, we will grow and expand our reach beyond FMP. But also, one thing I would like to add in there, we all should understand that the challenge ahead of us is a big challenge. It's not going to be easy. And therefore, we need each and everyone's commitment and resolve to this thing.
All right. Thank you very much for the confidence put to me. I'll do my best to make the EIC vision realize. The next position is Treasurer, Financial Secretary. No, somebody you need you have accounting background.
No, I don't really know. I don't know.
It's very technical. It's not rejected.
Just as you say, that financial, yes, we need somebody with that. We have somebody with that. We don't have somebody. We also we can hold on to it. If we go guy,
Yes.
we are not under any obligation unless of course somebody here is ready to handle. You know, this is, I don't think it's an interim something that we are talking about.
No.
Yes, this one. These are going to be the same. So, but your background, Nana, I used Nana, you were the one that was in the year.
I nominated him.
I don't want to love you, but since you said that.
You mentioned.
I am not a businessman.
Yeah, you need an accountant.
What did he say?
He don't want to love
He doesn't want to love you. He has an accounting background.
You are not loving me, we are appointing him.
I don't want to love you here.
I didn't want to.
Okay.
No.
Oh, but it's okay.
Look here.
We are looking for someone here.
This is a local
It's the beginning of things, so
yeah, local because
you need willing people.
we don't love you. We need committed people.
I'm a typical politician.
So, what they are there?
One square for now.
The treasure.
We've got a treasure. Financial secretary, maybe.
Who is the treasurer?
I propose that he becomes the
Of course.
he has got a
That one, the everybody is aware. The treasurer is
financial secretary.
no. We have a financial accountant here.
Pressure is taking ya.
I'm not in order. I'm over there. There are 2 minutes.
Beatrice, Edu, Wamba.
the officer with that portfolio, they are women, they are two already.
No.
We have not nominated.
No, but they will be women.
Nana should serve on the board. Like, you should serve on the board.
Nana will be best suited for the business board.
Wait a minute. Maybe apart from that, man,
But still there will be women.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, whether they are nominated or they are women who will occupy that position. So they already have two women there, so the rest are going to use sometimes.
Nana will be suited for
the business board.
Not even the women, we need sometimes you can't have a man. Not that you can't, I know that you have a man as a treasurer and a financial secretary as a treasurer.
It will be expedient that do that gender make balance. Yeah.
And usually, the
See, let's keep the position of the treasurer unoccupied for now, right? So we have a chairman, we have a financial secretary, and we have a secretary, right? We have 3, 6 here. So there.
No, wait a minute. Excuse me, Peter. Are you ready to go? You're ready to go, but has he told you what it entails? No, we've told you a little bit. And are you sure you're ready to be? Are you sure? So for me, she just came here and she has not the interest. So let's honor her with that and encourage her because she will have the opportunity to meet with experienced people and that alone will help her. I hope you understand. So let's give it to her. We won't leave her and wait for her.
She's showing commitment.
Ma.
And she's bold enough to be working with a man. He's working with a CPR.
Come on, Nakasa. We need you in here. We need you in here.
I'm here.
They're an organizer.
Hey, Master.
They're an organizer.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
The reason for that is, look,
I'm already here.
EIC is an entity on its own.
Yeah.
But I think this concept that we are here to nourish is something that you have had in your mind. Maybe, you know, as with yes. See, I think it's only proper that we put you in here.
But in fact, EIC
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes.
And he's the president I'm going to you.
This is what I'm going to do.
Yes.
The organizer.
Yes, no, that one I will please. You can't break that here. Like that's all. I mean, you're very serious, but sometimes we don't when we do this that we're supposed to meeting on a bit, I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
I think we are going to meet this and that. Wow. Nothing happens again. Nothing happens again. You understand that? So it was like executive now, I just get, and I'm saying that, look,
Yeah,
EIC
have to be.
Yes, EIC won't allow it.
In some way.
Yeah, there are some pictures somewhere. That is why government is out.
Or the guy in your ear, or
I don't make it.
He was part of us. I don't know who they are.
Oh, but yeah. So we started
Organize that, okay. Yeah,
we go with the TV.
I have a suggestion. I think I saw across the platform that
Yeah.
Please, at this juncture, the meeting, the executive meeting, chairman of EIC take over.
There's some issue that I wanted to bring up briefly, and I think once I'm done, we can vote on it. I saw on the platform some time back the proposal of a patron of the program. I think that every group needs that figure, but I think that we also have to be careful who we nominate to be that figure. There will be as is when it comes to these chieftaincy matters, we need to be very careful. My name is a friend of mine, but he's still a human. A day might come where we might want to get some support from another local chief. But because of their interpersonal relationship, and because my name is seen as a patron of our group, so I would suggest that we find somebody who is a chieftaincy, or at least not directly enshrined in those affairs, to be our patron. See, I'll put it to them. If you agree, if anybody has an alternative resolution, I'll put it forward.
That came up because we are seeing as the overlord of the business. And him being behind us, he was setting that especially when it's under. And we want him being the overlord again to be like behind us, to give us that weight. But as personal, because there are people that would think, oh, we are doing this. And if we are not able to preach our personality, this is investment. We are talking business and it's not partisan. Then people will have it's a good point raised, but him being a patron, then somebody coming in as an investor or businessman to invest. And in the club, remember the club is separate from the business. So you might have maybe a problem with the club membership or whatever. But we bring our money, green money on board. We are talking people. So we have a beautiful. I'm not hearing whatever you think. This guy is just
in terms of land, there's this thing is going to grow. So be careful that you get to where in the scene I need to
but not necessarily just
So all angles they can
support. That's why, but not necessarily. And the way he might not come to our meetings, he might not be, but so then he knows we have something like that. So he just gives us that's the more reason why. And he might not even take it on board. He might suggest we put maybe his queen mother as it's a proposal. So, but we are giving him that courtesy.
Yeah, so
this is what we are doing.
So to add what you're saying, it might surprise you that if you are looking at, if you are thinking big, it might surprise that somebody outside the cookie space will rather will find the Paramount TV our patron a currency for which you trust us. But
Because, yeah,
when you
they
look
will
at the
see that
outsiders,
as a
the African Americans,
Oh,
the
if it-
international investors,
the whole chip is behind us.
the paramount chief is the principal.
credibility.
That is more ensuring that
That is the
you
reason
know
why
having an
we
ordinary person be as a patron.
so we can have faith. But him
Boss,
being behind us.
okay.
No, yeah. What we want to do is,
Executive of later.
Jepede, Kenya executives. Now, Jepede form BBI. Then every documentation. So we leave it to him. This is what we are doing. This is our documentation. So once he goes, then we propose that by time at the beach. He might not be in a beach, but then he will have something to follow to see. This is what we are doing. This is our pathway. If he gives us his blessing. But not necessarily as an executive. I mean, that's why we do it. No, yeah, that's what we are saying. We want to appoint So we will look at and politically, we can So we will pick a few. That
Hey, in terms of our voting, are we complete?
yeah, I think we need to
Let me three officers, the two officers in that portfolio, then the president.
Oh no,
Oh, so we have chairman, we have secretary, we have we have supervisor, and vice. Select those that.
So we leave it in the hands of the executive to get to somebody or we actually later.
yeah, they will.
Yes, yeah. So before you came, we were discussing setting a good system for members so that those of us who attended the meeting and those who gave us apology for not coming, we add the numbers and remove the rest. Because it's better to start with small number and build up than to start with crowd and by the time you realize they are fighting. So that's what we discussed and that's what we discussed. So if you put it to vote, it becomes a decision that you take.
But I think at the end we are still speaking to those people that they will.
Oh yeah, of course I'll brief everybody on the meeting today because I don't know them.
And also tell them to wait for what is going on.
Yes, if you want to come back, you can come back.
So what is the way to do that?
Going forward, somebody will have to answer them. You're going to do the mountain by
By a member.
And if you're taking that by before you go out to somebody, you have to take your time to the person.
came at the
What you tell me is either
Reply to that message so that I can see it.
to the came out of the I think on the platform, what we did was to bring more people. Then as we go along, we'll see who real members are. And I see real membership will start when all the modalities are in place. And we know, okay, registration, maybe if ordinary membership is 100 cities, then the various membership categories, if you put in place. That's
what I was about you have
yeah, it's
reply to the message so that I can.
The point is so proactive. You have to take it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's part of what I'm saying. That for now, we can leave the platform as is. Then once the modalities are in place, then people know the commitment of the membership. Then when we give the time period for the registration, the payment and everything, once you pay, you commit, that is when you become a member. You register. Because now we are not all not registered.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Share that message. Reply to that message so that I can see and add the name. This is a
Yeah, so it's part of.
yeah, it's a way of
It's a-
driving
yeah.
citizen awareness. Yeah, that we're taking record.
So I see membership as when everything is okay. To be an ordinary member, this is your contribution or this is how you're going to do, and you agree and commit money. That is when you are registered, duly registered. Then once we do the registration process, if it's a month, 2 months or 3 months, after close of registration, that is where we will know our true membership. That's what I am.
So let's tidy this up. Today is the 11th of September. As chairman, I'm going to make sure this group is incorporated at least 30 days out of the state. Okay. So let's get ourselves up to the 11th of
By
October.
the 11th of October.
Okay, we're going to have this as a legal entity. Okay, and then we move forward to the next group, to the next step. Once it's a legal entity, we are going to, but we need to, I believe we need to revise our constitution.
Sure. Oh, no, you're teaser.
Okay.
You have to create a new one.
Yes, so we're going to create a new one. So the secretary is going to be in charge of that.
The
Okay?
executive will be.
Yes. So we'll sit down,
Yeah,
refashion a new
yeah.
constitution. Okay, but we're going to get this.
Meet our,
Exactly.
Our agenda, yeah.
So, but we're going to get this incorporated as soon as possible.
Okay.
I'll start working on it this week.
Okay.
So now, to add to what I was saying, maybe now we are done with I would say the executive order. So why don't we take what say that discussion of the so that let's discuss on the criteria for becoming
No.
Yeah, I propose us having 1 minute. The categorization of membership. So we'll have like ordinary membership paying 100 cedis to register. And then I think I did I put it on the platform?
Yeah, I shared it.
So then we'll have silver membership also registering at a different amount. Then we will have gold, diamond, platinum. Then I think I did
Platinum,
Royal Prestige. I think I have it.
Okay, you send it to me. So let me read that.
Yeah.
So you have ordinary membership. That is, you're looking at 50 people who sign up ordinary membership, and they're going to pay 100 Ghana cedis. Then silver, you have 30 people paying 200 Ghana cedis
For registration.
Then gold membership, 20 people paying 500. Then diamond, 20 people paying 1,000 Ghana cedis. Then platinum, 20 people paying 2,000. Then royal prestige, 10 people paying 5,000 each for membership.
Okay. So that will give us about 131,000 to start.
Seed
capital. Money, seed capital.
To start.
So it's a way to get, because if we just have to do an ordinary membership with 100 cedis, we might not raise.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
What's the total number of people you're projecting?
150.
40,
150.
60, 70, 150.
Yeah, 150. So that brings us, so if across board, everybody pays the monthly investment of 100 cedis, that brings us, I think, 18,000 a month.
Yeah.
Right, 15,000. Yeah, then a year will be about 180,000. Now, what will happen is ordinary member pays every month 100 cedis, or I don't know what we would agree on for ordinary members. Since sometimes there might be hardship or whatever, so you can skip, but you can do past 3 months without paying your whatever the modality will be. But say a prestige member might have to pay his 100 upfront, so the year starts, he might pay 12 months straight. So we can quickly bring home money. So the next person might say, okay, I pay in 6 months upfront. But ordinary members, they will do the 100 and we'll give them the leverage for them to be doing, you can lapse within 3 months, but you make sure you pay. So then we all mingle. We get ordinary members with big shots. So we come to club meetings. Sometimes the meeting will be just prestige members just meeting. Sometimes it will be just us all or whatever. But the reason why we want EIC to remain liquid is so then at any given time, if you want to opt out, you can get your money as cash, or we can just sell it to another person too. You can get your investment plus whatever is being accumulated. I don't know if it's a proposal, but the executives can go like bring. Then once registration is closed, if you have to come in, you have to wait maybe a year or 6 months. That is what will give us that clause. Right? It's not a walk-in club, but it's something that you have to, labor to get. You see, so I don't know how but I'm looking at something like that so that we can concentrate. We lock it in. We have to be in business for 1 year before we bring in people on board. By then, we'll know what the modalities and the arrangements are. But I think,
I think it's a good proposal, but I have a different take on it. I think as a group, it is very important that all members in the group feel same. If we are not careful and we start putting together membership by segregating how much somebody pays, it is going to get to a time where people are going to feel or develop some feelings towards that. What I think we should do is that, and by the way, I think 150 members maximum for the group. What I think we should do is that rather than take 100 cedis from somebody, 1,000 from somebody else, we should set our annual membership fee to listen carefully. It might sound like a lot, but it's not. To 700 cedis per person. Now, remember that we want to actualize maybe 130,000 Ghana cedis per annum in terms of membership, right? Now, when you break that down, it's about 60 Ghana cedis a month, okay? So that if everybody here is committed to paying 2 cedis a day towards this thing, you can get it done. and we can raise the same amount of money, right, into our nest egg. So that is a proposal I hold. I think that rather than segregating the membership, let's have a flat membership, 700 Ghana cedis a year, okay? If you're able to pay 200 Ghana cedis, we'll carry it forward. That's why we have the financial secretary here, right? Whatever you're able to pay at a time, we'll take that money. But like we said, we don't want to get into a position where we have 3 months of arrears coming up, okay? So it's 2 cedis a day, okay? It's about 60 cedis. It's actually less than 60 cedis. It's 58 Ghana cedis a month. Let's all commit to doing that. I think it's easy that way. Go ahead.
Were you talking about? Anyway, I was going to talk about it. Were you talking about annual subscription fee, or that's what
we're talking about an annual membership fee to be a member of EIC.
Yes, and that's different from the 100 cedis monthly.
The same thing. We're not going to do 100 cedis monthly. Oh, okay, sorry, I shouldn't say that. I'm proposing that rather than do 100 cedis monthly, we should do 60 cedis per month, right? Which is going to actualize about 700 Ghana cedis per person. Okay, with 150 people, we are going to net about 105,000 Ghana cedis a year for membership. Okay, that gives you the privilege of sitting at this table, right, and contributing your ideas. But then moving forward, when there is a project that you feel that you want to invest in, that's a different ballgame. Okay, there we can take the bigger amounts, because that's where the dividends will come in when we start making profits. So that's my take. What do you think? You're the financial secretary. What do you think?
See, the idea of the membership categorization, like I said, like the contribution after registration will be flat. So there won't be like
Everyone pays something.
whatever we agree is the monthly, but it's just a way to mop up, like get enough at the seed money, and it won't be like. But it just sometimes people have the pride of having that, but now at the club level, there won't be speciality to anybody, but it's just a way to say you propped the club up when we started.
Oh, yeah, for
membership. So it wouldn't be for people to feel this is a platinum member. So
if you want to bring 10,000 Ghana cedis, I'll happily accept it. But I think that there needs to be a certain baseline. Right.
So the baseline will be
60 cedis a month.
The monthly will be base everybody across board.
60
but
cedis
the
a month.
initial registration. No, it's okay. 60 whatever we agree on. But the initial registration, I want a way to jumpstart this whole thing together.
As a seed money.
Also, looking at the membership, I think
Because if we do, say, if we start, we are doing registration, say 100, right? Times 150 people. We can start with 15,000 as our seed. As against, if we go that route, we can get about 31,000 from my calculation. But it's not to make anybody feel extraordinary or special, but it's because of the concept that we are trying to. Somebody might willingly want to perhaps they give us 10,000 to jumpstart us. So I'm finding a way to jumpstart this whole thing so that we can come up with that.
Okay, so I think that
So
perhaps you're right. I think that because listen, we are going to incorporate this entity. It's going to take we're going to pay some monies, right? I think, and I'll let you go. I think maybe 100 Ghana cedis, right? Subscription, membership fee, and then 60 cedis monthly due. Okay.
Monthly investment. Let's put it that way.
Yes, the monthly investment.
Say, yeah.
Okay.
See,
Contribution.
some of these things we should consider individual contributors' expectations. We should consider that before we take some of the decisions. But before even going there, I have always been interested in we taking them one on one, finishing because we are making projections. If we are 100, we are 150 and everything. But though it looks like we have exhausted that discussion of how we are bringing in members or whatever. I was thinking, can we exhaust that? In fact, he's raised a very critical thing that for me, we need to look at it very well before we agree on something. But if you permit me to take you back, I'm still saying that once we are done with the executive and other things, the membership is the most important thing. We'll come to that, what you are discussing now, but I'm just begging to take us back. That please, let's please all discuss on criteria of one becoming a member of the group. Let's agree on that so that we all know that this is how. Because if we are certain that we have a very strict criteria of bringing people, then we can confidently also say that we are bringing, we are building a pool of about 150 people by October. You understand that? That's what I'm thinking. Now, when we are settled on that, then that's when probably we can say, let's look at membership categorization. Is there the need for the categorization, or if there is a need? Fine. Then we'll probably also look at no need for committee here. I'm talking about for this, they do something. Then we also discuss the payments that we are discussing. You understand? So if you are not sure of how many members you're going to get at the end of maybe October, November, you'll be conjecturing in disappointment. You understand? Yes. So I'm interested in that. The membership category. People have made it clear that before you become a member, this or that, but it appears we are just discussing it.
Okay, so Kweku, I think that what he said, I think you should draft an independent article in terms of the expectations of EIC, right? In terms of what our expectations are and what we expect from our members, right? The minimum that a member should at least, I don't want to use the word he says, to be a member of EIC. Let me jump a little further into what you're saying. We're going to have an organizer, right? One thing I want to do is that we have about 52 communities in it, right? I think our membership, we have to be very selective in terms of the people that we attract into this group. And I say this not to shame anybody, right? But what we're doing here is coming together, pulling our resources so that we are able to channel those resources into an investment vehicle to make money.
Absolutely.
Right? We are going to need people who are employed gainfully in some way. You don't have to sit in an office. You could be selling pineapples. But at least if you are gainfully employed and you are able to meet that burden on a monthly basis, we're going to welcome you. Now, back to this thing about having an organizer. Once this thing is formally set up, I'm going to find time myself, right? I'm going to get in my vehicle and we are going to make it a point to visit those 52 communities. We are going to identify at least 2 to 3 people in each community who can be a member, who fall into this criteria to be a member of EIC, okay? So it's not going to be a platform of friends where I say, okay, I'm just going to put you onto the platform because this is what's going on, right? We're going to take this very seriously once it's incorporated. So myself with the organizer, we're going to identify people in these communities. We're going to sit down with them. We're going to pitch the idea to them, and we're going to get them to come on board. So I think once this thing is incorporated, easily we can get that 150 people that we're looking for, right? They don't have to be necessarily in people living in the communities, but rather indigents of the community. That's one. Secondly, I think that so obviously the constitution of the platform is going to change. When I say constitution, I mean the members of the platform, because we're going to now sift through to identify people who we think can help with this agenda, right? That's the first point. Anyway, in the interest of time, let me give it back to you. Let's keep moving.
Oh, I'm surprised.
Yeah. So I'm looking at numbers here. Maybe I don't know. So assuming we have 150 people, right? We got them easy, and we do the 100 by 100. That brings us 15,000 as our seed money. Now, if we use the membership categorization, that it's not to segregate us, to let anybody feel superior, but we want them to see this is a vision that we have, but we want people to prop it up. You get my? So once it's propped up and we got our seed money, everybody is equal. We come to meeting, if you can come fine. As long as you are contributing your monthly 60, it's not dues, investment. You are making your continuous investment. If we say dues, people see it as a responsibility. Let me put it that way. But if it's investment, they know it's going to bring them something. And it's like it's money that won't go waste. At any given time that you want to opt out, whatever calculations that we have, blah blah blah, we can. That's why we want to stay as liquid as we can, so we can give you your money. Then what you can gain is it can be a collateral. If we work, quantify whatever you've contributed, and they say it's worth 2,000, we can stand as surety for you. EIC can stand as for you to go in for say 1,000 CD loan to do your small. So no, I'm saying you don't take the money out.
there's
No, there's no danger, because now if you want to opt out, you are taking your 2,000, which is liquid. So let me just finish. We will work out the modalities, right? But if comfort is not given to certain people, right? What will happen is, I'm putting my money there, but now I'm handicapped financially. It's like when you are in business, like in the employment, and you do your 401k, right? It's your money, plus government money. It's there, but you can borrow at a rate, but you cannot take your money completely. It's just to cushion you.
I agree with
so
you.
we'll work out something
Yeah,
that will make contributing into the fund attractive and a comfort, because it's there that you can fall on when, but not because you can fall on it, but you want to know this investment means something to me.
Like what I'm going to say is support what you're saying. Tell us.
Let me just line. I'm pitching my case, right?
Okay.
If I have the option to opt out anytime and get my money worth back based on whatever calculation. So let's say I'm worth 500 cedis. If I need today, you can give it to me, but I don't need the money. But I said I'm going to do a business that I need like 250 as my initial capital for that business. Then EIC can say, okay, you have an investment worth of 500 cedis. So we can use this as a surety for you. So you can go, like we're talking about the Maslow. Let's put it that way. We get, say, certain amount from Maslow. We say, okay, we are able to raise money, but some of them, we want to help members that are into small business, right? Based on your investment or your equity in EIC. It will be a way to help members, but at the same time, they are trying something else whilst they still have their investment growing here. That is what.
So I like.
It's an idea.
Very, very quickly, I like the idea of the 401k that you brought. But here's the thing: early withdrawals from a 401k will attract a certain penalty. right? So if you've invested 500 Ghana, we don't want to get into a position where Boutros comes in, puts in 500 cedis, and then next month says, "Oh, I'm gonna."
No. We're setting rules and structure.
We're just going to break down the structure.
No, I understand.
Okay? So we are not going to entertain that kind of thing. Remember, we said in the beginning, we want the money, we want to stay liquid, and we want the money to sit there, right? So when you join, you join. If you decide to leave at some point, there has to be a certain penalty.
Yeah.
So that it's no longer attractive for members to leave.
That's what I'm saying, based on the arrangements that we've made. So the person is now withdrawing, but he needs support to do something else.
And
So-
we're not going to collateralize. I mean, individuals, this is an entity. Okay? Once you bring your 100 cities, 1,000 cities, and you put it into EIC, on paper, yes, it's a percentage for you. But that money no longer belongs to you. It belongs to the group. So we are not going to collateralize that for your personal business.
That I understand, but it is there to serve as an insurance for you to at the same time, like financial security in a way.
Okay.
I think the nitty-gritties of these things should be handled.
But it's an idea. But
Exactly. You see,
So-
let me tell you what Nana is saying. In fact, I didn't know that's where he was going. It's amazing if we handle it well, right? I wrote something here that we should. If you went, I was emphasizing on social club, and all clubs come with some kind of welfare benefits. What he's talking about may go there, but my problem has been. That's why I insist on we following a particular I'm talking about agenda. Like we take this, we exhaust it, we take it, we exhaust it. That's why I took it back. The membership. Like you said, I am thinking that talking about membership, though I'm not done, or you are not done. Talking about membership, we should have a strategy. And exactly what we are talking about is a marketing strategy, how we can bring in more members. Perfect, right? But we must have a criteria. I'm still there until we exhaust. Now, we must have a criteria that Kweku suggested at first. We must be strict, very brutal with with those, not just that anybody just come. Whether you're going to preach it there or not, still people must be fair. There should be that. That's what I want us to understand, emphasize, because if this gentleman, Kweku, recommends him to be a member, we assume that Kweku has spoken to me and everything. And based on Kweku's word, we have admitted him into membership. These are some of the things that as a meeting we have to agree on. You understand that? So we admit him into membership. Now we know. Then we come to, now that we've understood that, we come to our marketing strategy. We are targeting, let's say, 150 people. How do we get the 150 people? How do we get the 150 people? Probably we have the strategy of course, as for the executive, you have a duty, just as you have committed yourself. I am so happy you are talking about that. It tells me how serious our executives are. So that one, we are not going to say stop. We are going to do it. But if you become a member too, assuming we even want 300 members as a club or 600 members, I'm just saying that anyway. Those of us that sitting here, we can tell us that look, everybody has a duty of bringing in two people. And like Nana and you said, we need to be selective here. So you are saying that we are not bringing, excuse my words, just anybody, somebody that can meet the demands. So I know that I am going to get somebody who can potentially become either a platinum member or this or that, somebody who will be committed to it. So then we know that yes, we have our marketing strategy of bringing in people. We have whatever they should meet, the criteria, the condition they should meet, and other things, which of course we go over. So let's understand that. If that's understood, fine. Then probably we can decide to come to the membership categorization. So it means that, because you see, Nana brought on the table membership categorization, but interestingly, he jumped to welfare benefits unawares.
No.
No, wait a minute. What you're saying is so important. It's so important because
I'm looking at, see,
to tell you the truth, I wrote something here.
To part with money. All right.
I am trying to say that.
No, I'm not
exhaust them
no.
one at a time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. Let's exhaust them.
No,
one at a time.
the welfare categorization, they said it's agreed. They will see how they work it out. Now, I'm looking at what makes membership attractive. Because parting with money hasn't been easy thing.
So we are on membership.
And we don't, yeah. And I don't want a situation that it will be like paying a dues. But you are investing money. But you invest money to cushion you in future or for something. But we are not going to say, oh, you can just walk in arbitrary and say you need your money. Maybe if you apply, it will take a while. Or you have to contribute maybe for 6 months or something to qualify. We will have structures. But it should be in a way that my investment is something I can follow.
But are we done with your categorization?
They will work on it. They will look at
you
it.
see, it's a meeting. It's a meeting, so wait a minute. Not that they work on it.
No, they said,
What I'm saying is that it's a meeting. It's a meeting. So let us take a decision on that.
All right.
That's where my problem is.
Okay, I get
if
your point.
you are not done with something, that's what I'm saying. A moment. That's what I'm saying, that you jump into welfare matters.
No.
Let's exhaust the categorization. Obviously, there should be a reason why somebody must be joining. That's where what you're talking about comes in. And indeed, we must take that serious. You see, I was emphasizing on social club. There should be certain things. Somebody is coming in, not necessarily for the investment, but Obama say, welfare be kind of thing. I'm not proposing anything, but welfare be kind of thing. Because once it's a club, the welfare thing will come in. You understand? So I'm saying that let's exhaust the categorization something. If we agree that these are the categories and we understand the basis for the categorization, great. Then we move on to how can we bring or how can we make the thing appeal to people, like you're saying?
Yeah. My thinking now is we are still brainstorming for a document to be fashionable.
Right.
So once the document is fashionable, that's when we will fine tune it, maybe. So I'm sure there will be.
But what you are talking about is very important. So I'm saying that let's exhaust it.
Exhaust the
Categorization.
Okay.
Chairman, I want to come in with this one.
One second. So he posed the question. Go ahead and let's finish it up.
Which question?
With the categorization, is that not?
Yeah,
I think he has made a proposal, so maybe we have to comment.
Yes.
You see, with the membership hard, now you can talk about getting 150 people. But at the end, when you go to reality, you'll be getting 50 people. So personally, I agree with the categorization, so that you can get money and to start something. And once we have started something, it will attract people. You see, this money that we are going to take in our local community, they are doing it. And they rely on it each time to help themselves. So let's look at how we can get something started and attract people to join. So personally, I agree with the categorization, so that you can get money early.
It's not to. We are members of ECOS, like who said it?
I also
we'll be members of ECOS.
I also
but we
go for
want
categorization because maybe what may be different is you register with your 100 cedis for, then you pitch yourself at where you can fit in from the silver to the royal. Maybe the ordinary should be a subscription fee, not ordinary member, but it should be a subscription fee to be a member of the EIC. Then from there you can pitch from silver to royal. That is where you'll be putting your investment. And to where you fit, you can invest 200 every month.
No, I'm not even looking at it that way.
I see it.
I'm looking at the categorization just to prop us up,
Exactly.
to get the seed money. But now the contribution that flows into the club will be equal.
100 cities across.
Maybe or 60 cities across board, whatever.
At what stage? We are trying to make us, or we are trying to get you make us understand, right? So that we buy into it, you get it. Now, so you are talking about we have categories of members, okay? Now, whether you like it or not, once we do that, there is segregation, and segregation does not necessarily mean negative, right? Yes, it doesn't necessarily directly undermine anybody, not at all. It depends. Sometimes somebody might even just be an ordinary member, but the fact that the person has a platinum member in it gives that person a kind of feeling. So it's even good. But we are saying that when and the frequency, when and what at what frequency?
It's just the initial registration period. So if we've given, let's say, 3 months to get all our registration done.
I'm quizzing you. You are the one that is I'm quizzing you. category we have agreed. I'm just saying that an assumption we have agreed. We are going to have categories, right? Now, is that fee going to be just the subscription fee and one time of?
One time.
Okay.
One time for us to get a seed money.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That is
Fair enough. It's okay.
Maybe I will not throw back.
Oh, it's a one time.
One time thing. It's a one time thing.
Just
So
give the seed
Fine.
money.
yeah.
I'm following
So
my question. I'm comfortable.
yeah.
I'm not done. Now we are talking about benefits, whatever. Now then, I would say that that categorization or that particular level your class equivalent, whatever you pay, is not going to take into consideration for any kind of calculations. Does that make sense? Because wait a minute. Let me tell you something. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I get you.
Yes. You pay 1,006 today, like you said, one of, right? Now that means next year you will not renew it, or you renew.
You one.
Right. Now, so you paid it. After that, you'll be paying
monthly or
2 Ghana cedis per month. Let's say 2 Ghana cedis per month. So what I'm saying is that now these 2 Ghana cedis per month, let's say a time comes, just you rightly say, you want to go out or opt out of a club for some reason. Maybe you are relocating or something out of the country. Now, are we going to calculate your dividends, take into consideration how much you pay? Because I'm thinking that this particular thing is buying you only that status of being a platinum something. So we must agree that it's a prestige kind of thing that you are buying. You are buying a certain kind of prestige, but that is not going to affect the subscription fee. Let us all agree that the subscription fee is not part of the contribution we are making. It's not going to. Because subscription fee makes you a member. Subscription fee is a fee. This is what you are paying to become a member.
A member. So one time.
So it is not an investment.
Your monthly is what we use based our investment on.
Okay.
But so the initial subscription is to set us go.
We must get that.
So you just the benefit you get of being say a platinum member is you were part of the people that push this hard, but now we are equal.
Amazing.
It's not
So
about,
we all agree.
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it.
Chama, you get it? It's a great idea.
That's how I'm looking at it. Just to prophesy. So your pride or whatever of you, now EIC is a multi-million-dollar one, but you sit somewhere in the archives of your history. So I was part of the people that problem.
Yeah, you are a platinum member. And we know what a platinum member means.
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it.
So it's a sacrifice.
Yes,
I note that.
I understand that.
The subscription fee, I want us to understand the subscription fee that we pay is not part of one's investment.
No.
If as a group we can understand that. If I pay 1,000 now, I have bought that status of platinum.
Yes.
It's not part of my investment.
Fair enough.
My investment will be the 100 Ghana.
Yeah, that's how I'm looking
So
at it. So that we can jumpstart this whole process and
Okay.
So it's in a way for you to see you are giving a hand to.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I see it. But
So now that we've agreed on that, let's talk about duration. I believe initially I said that I wanted to get this thing incorporated within the next 30 days. But I think that we now have a hitch with this issue of categories. So that being said, how much time are we giving members to make that first initial deposit as subscription?
How much first?
So the registration can go ahead.
Okay.
That can go ahead. We can get our registration, our bank account ready.
Okay.
Then maybe we'll set 3 months or whatever for registration. So after the 3 months lapse, if we are able to get the 150 or the 150, then we know this is what we have to start. So it's closed. Registration is closed. Just like
90 days.
I've just give it as a proposal. I don't know if it should be 90 or
Forgive me for trying to let us know. We have agreed, whatever. Now we know we have accepted and we have categories. We know if you are using that money just to buy that status, right? Now let us also officially agree on how much a member. Yes, let's take it that way. So let's know the various.
So let's take one thing at a time. Categorization is done. Now we need a duration for registration.
Wait a minute. That's
how much is assigned to
You've talked about categorization. That's one at a time. If you're talking about one at a time, you have agreed that we're going to have categories of members. Yeah. Before you talk about duration, you don't know how much you're paying. You know how much you're paying. That will determine, or that will help us, guide us on the duration. Because for instance, if I tell you that, okay, let's give ourselves 3 months, thinking that I'm going to pay 1,000, then it happens that Platinum is going to pay 10,000. The 3 months will not wait again, right? But if I know that as a potential Platinum member, I'm going to pay 3,000, then I can tell you that, no, 3,000, let's give them this or that. So once we have talked about categorization, we have agreed, I am suggesting that now let's
bring the figures again.
Yes, let's know the figures. That's what you're saying. When we know, then we come to the duration that you're talking about.
The figures again.
Yeah. So we have to do
well, now we are confirming things officially.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so ordinary members to pay. Ordinary subscription is 100 Ghana cedis. Silver is 200. Gold is 500.
That's a different thing. Silver.
Diamond is 1,000. Platinum is 2,000, and Royal Prestige is 5,000.
So we take it one by one, and whether we agree.
So we are looking at numbers. Ordinary members, we are looking at 50. So we want a maximum of 150 people for the initial membership, right?
Now you see.
No, because we have numbers. But we might not get many people with that
ordinary subscription of 100 Ghana.
So
So that's 50 times
50.
100.
Wait a minute. Don't let us be so rigid about that, because nobody can tell. Maybe you, the executives, now you are going to think for us. You understand? You may come back here and cause a review.
Yeah,
all these things that
definitely.
So even all the things that we're talking about, there will definitely be a review, because we are talking about money. We are going to have a business board. That business board will be working on how you can rake in cash. They'll bring in proposals. So probably what you are even thinking about, more proposals will come as to how you, because our concern is how to rake that money, rake in that money, right? And we will have a team responsible for bringing in ideas, or channel our ideas of meeting that demand. You understand that? But if we say that, okay, we are targeting, how can you be here and imagine that maybe, or convince yourself that you're going to have 50 people that will be ordinary members? For you know, every member will want to be a platinum sample. But when we agree, when we agree that platinum, you are paying this, you see, just agree that platinum is paying this. Silver is paying this is paying that. Then we based on that.
Then we'll say
absolutely.
We want the maximum membership.
Yes.
150.
Yes. Based on that, okay, we are targeting, let's say 200,000. Then you said, okay, then we will need about 50 ordinary members.
Okay.
Then we need
I don't know
about
the
20
initial
silver. Then we need about this. It must be properly planned. So you take it one at a time, and it will get you there. So let's agree on the
So do we agree on the numbers?
Sure.
Not the numbers, but the money numbers.
But I was thinking it could be range, like 200 to this, 200 to 300 becomes this, 5,000 to 10,000 becomes this. Or
we want so that we can plan. We want so that we can know. I didn't know, like initial, maybe our financial secretary can help us with our initial seed money. I don't know what we are looking at, but I just felt if we have to go flat, we can raise substantial amount for anything. So then we want a strategy to get a jump start. But I don't know how much will be feasible. Like if we want to start, our initial target is 500,000, 200,000, whatever. I don't know, but we thought we should have 150 maximum members to start with, right? That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So are we looking at the initial capital or both 150 members against certain seed money startup? So if we have to pay 150 to the club base or the seed money of the club, not for the business.
If you are talking about startup something, we can talk about that here because
the club startup.
It should be very empirical. You must back it with data.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The club itself needs.
The club money
that would be. So what are we looking at? Initially, we are looking at maybe 200,000 to 150 members, or 500,000 to that 150 members, or whatever.
We're raising that from the subscription fee.
Yeah.
Or plus the dues.
No, the subscription fee, the initial subscription. We want a target, certain target.
So we must have an assumption.
But what I did, the assumption was if I put it together, it's 131,000 Ghana cedis.
So if you can help us, then
The numbers.
yes.
That is
50 ordinary,
The projections. Yes.
50 ordinary, 30 silver, 20 gold, 20 diamond, 20 platinum, and 10 royal prestige. That's one.
So the question is, because sometimes you need to be very realistic. We can't just hope. Matters of this, we don't hope. You need to be practical. Do we have any assurance people that we know within the or outside that we can get maybe 5 people who will be ready to join and they are ready for that, to pay that, because we shouldn't make that mistake. You cannot, yeah, you can make projections alright, but you can't sit here and say that we need 5 people that will become members. If it's about donations, you're doing something.
No, it's our projection. So for us to look at.
So my point is the projections.
Are they realistic enough?
We can make projections.
Is that what?
That's what he's getting at. Yeah.
You're looking at how realistic.
But that projection, if we are talking about starting, if we are talking about that kind of projection, should be, I think, from the business side. If with us, or certain the organization are, that figure that you quoted is just huge. It's just huge.
The bigger we are, the better.
We are talking about setting it up.
Not setting it up and have something behind it. So we use it as leverage.
That's why I said the business aspect will come in, because after the subscription fee, that's when the proper financial projections will come in. So this one, I was thinking that maybe if let's say that how much we want to raise from subscriptions.
Yeah, but
no, I think we are making this too complicated. I think what we should do is that, I mean, now we've put it out there in terms of the categories, right? Now, let each member go home in the next 30 days, in the next 60 days, the next 90 days, right? Come up with what you can. I think that is going to inform how many platinum members we get, how many ordinary members we get, how many, because there's no way that we can extrapolate moving forward at this point, right? So we are making it unduly complicated, right? So this is what it is. If you, in your rightful sense, decide that, hey, you want to be an ordinary member, bring that money. If you decide that you want to be a platinum member, get that money and bring it. But now the question is, how much time are we giving ourselves for that to happen? Right? For all you know, everybody here might decide to be a royal platinum member, or everybody might decide to be an ordinary member. But there's no way of knowing that until we get the monies in place, right? So let's give a time period where the dues can be paid, right? So that's why I was saying, what do? We give ourselves 90 days. Now we know what the categories are. We've agreed that there's going to be a system where things are going to be categorized. Now let's see how we raise that money.
Yeah, secretary.
Let me also share my view on the categorization thing. I just came up when I was trying to process it. We are looking at speed at which is going to raise seed capital. And using this categorization will give us 360,000.
No, 130.
135,000. How sure are we that we're going to get even 5 of us to give us 5,000 each? Or to get the 10 people to give us 5,000 each? How many will give us 2,000 each? 20 people. If it's going to take us 3 years to get these people to even bring the money, that's 3 years wasted. How about we taking it slowly or in a very realistic way? We focus on building the numbers. We get 150 people as members. Then everybody is paying 100 cedis across the board. Within 1 year, we're going to raise 180,000 cedis in 12 months. If you decide, okay, you're going to all pay 200 cedis, you're going to pay 360,000 cedis in 1 year. It will be more realistic, and we get the speed of raising that money than using the factorization of 5,000, 2,000, which can delay. Somebody may be ready to pay, but then it will take time to drag on for us to get the money we need. So that was my initial point. Yes, that's the angle I would take it from. If you focus on getting 150 people, which will be more easier relative to getting 10 people to give us 5,000, and we start from that level, it will work. It might help us a lot.
So, are we going to use a year to do the registration?
No.
So it's all
We are all
boiled
looking
down.
at what will work.
No,
you see,
it's time.
everything can work, depending on the caliber of people that we are looking for.
It's
No.
It's an investment. I think anybody
It's an
can
investment.
come on
So,
board.
if it depends on the modalities, well, because we are going to pitch. So it's like when a company floats shares and they float it out there. They don't get it, but they set a period. Whatever they get is what they work with. Or then if they have to extend it, they extend it. And so we can set ourselves to say, okay, we are using 3 months to try and raise this money. If it doesn't work out, whatever we have, we can work with, or we can extend it. But we can assume this will work. It might work, it might not work.
Yeah, so, Chairman, how about
Because if we are let me just land. So if we are serious about this, and we say, okay, I alone can probably get 20 people to invest 5,000 into this as initial to prop us up. So let's not assume like, oh, it's just us. Or we can get, if we are talking about the future of a Kumfi and then it's going to take us a year to raise this money and then we'll have a problem. So let's set a target. So from now to December, this is what we are aiming at. If we don't get it, whatever we have, we can work with. But if we don't set big targets and then if it takes long, we'll have problems.
Okay, Chairman, I was of the view that just like we made mention of being realistic about whatever we are doing, we need to be sure of our numbers. In the first place, we were even thinking of raising 100 members before we even start this meeting in the first place. But as we speak, we are 50 on the platform. I was of the view that we will take that 50 in doing our calculation for now. So we are 50. Now, by the close of this month, everybody should pay his 100 cedis or 100 cedis, which will give us 5,000. If the 5,000 can help us to open our accounts and somebody did them to do.
I'll be right back.
So 50, we pay our 100 by the close of this month, which was 5,000, and we open our account, we incorporate our everything. Then from there we make a proposal that these avenues are available in terms of ordinary subscriptions, blah blah blah. Then when you subscribe to that, it should be part of an investment. If that is also made available, then we will know that aside we getting 5,000 at the end of September and even getting another 5,000 at the end of October till December, That means every month we can raise 5,000 cedis. So we have September, October, November, December. That's 20,000. If any other person also comes in to subscribe to any of the packages, start this now. So I was of the view we plan around what we have now, unless some of the people on the platform decide to opt out. Even if we still work at 150, we will be comfortable. When we expect more and we don't get it, it will break us down. Because initially we wanted 100 people to form. We never got it. We are here. We are 50. Let's make do with the 50. Pay your 100 by the end of September, which will be 5,000. Let's just incorporate. Let's open our account. Then at the end of October, we are getting 5,000. By December, we are making 20,000. If any other person comes with Royal Platinum, and we get 20 people to subscribe to that one, it's an that also add up. So by the end of this year, whatever we have gotten, then getting to next year, we are gone.
Yes, fair enough. Okay, Amy.
Good afternoon.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. You said Amy, right?
Yeah.
You know him.
That's Amy.
Okay, Amy.
When I came, I was
Fast.
asking. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I don't know if I'm taking you back. I don't know, but when I came and hearing of the categories, which is 5 different categories, range up to 5,000. Wow. Now, I think if only the main business to start this organization or this association within a very short time, then I'm trying to agree with what Hammond and Abi is saying. That category is not going to have. We are targeting 150 people. I don't know if it's still targeting that 150 people. If that is what we are going to target 150, now, even how are you going to get that 150 people? We started a month ago. We are looking for 100 people, and up to now, we are less than 50 people. I just checked 48 now. So when are we going to affect those 100 people to get that's 150 people? I think it will take a long time. We have started it. Even if it's 50 people, okay. Either we said we can make it 2 categories. It starts from 200 to 500 cities. From now to December, I think 2 or 3 months. Yes. So even if you have 50 people, then we say let's start paying 200 cities and 500 cities. It will range from 200 cities to 500 cities, and everyone should make sure to pay by the end of maybe December or.
But I'm there. I think it was Hammond who said that if it's important to you at any time, and especially at when I came to people came from Accra. When I spoke to my brother, he was at Accra. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for the dedication you showed thus far. I pray that moving forward, our resolve in this thing is going to be involved in it, because I seriously believe that together we can make it happen. Unfortunately, we don't have a slogan, but I think in due time one is going to come up. Let's work for the betterment of a Kofi. Thank you very much.
Our socialization.